I am a woman and I am resilient. Being a woman to me means I can overcome hardships and struggles and emerge strong, but still be vulnerable and show my emotions without feeling weak. I am tenacious, compassionate, gentle, and firm. I can do anything my heart desires and become someone I aspire to be.
Welcome to the interventional platform IDHE Women's History Month Town Hall. Today we're going to go over what exactly does it mean to be a woman. Here's an excerpt from an article by CNN in November of 2020. Even the dictionary can be sexist and out of date, especially when it comes to how a woman is described. Earlier this year, Oxford University Press changed its entry for women in its dictionaries, including the Oxford English Dictionary, to include more positive ways to describe a female. We have expanded the dictionary coverage of woman with more examples and idiomatic phrases which depict women in a positive and active manner. We have ensured that offensive synonyms or senses are clearly labeled as such and only include where we have evidence of real-world usage. Phrases such as woman of the moment were added to equal the old saying of the man of the moment, and one of the definitions of woman now refers to a person's wife, girlfriend, or female lover, as opposed to being tied only up to a man. The definition for man was updated to include gender-neutral terms and references to sexual attractiveness or activity were revised for man and woman entries. Woman, an adult female human being, a female member of a workforce team, a female person associated with a particular place, activity, or occupation. Take a moment and ask yourself, what is my definition of woman?
Why do we celebrate Women's History Month? International Women's Day, which is on March 8th, started back in 1911 as a global celebration of women's educational initiatives and customs. More than 1 million women and men attended rallies campaigning for women's rights to work, vote, be trained, and hold public office. Women's History Month celebrations formally started right here in Northern California in Santa Rosa. It started with school celebrations and transformed into something much more. In 1980, U.S. President Carter declared Women's History Week, and 6 years later, Congress passed a bill that turned March into Women's History Month. Today, it is celebrated by all groups everywhere. By highlighting women who have made a difference in history, we open up a world of possibilities for young women everywhere.
Happy International Women's Month. I am a woman and I hike high mountains.
There's been many women who inspired me, but I'll take this opportunity to call out my wife, Lori, who is a nurse, was a labor and delivery nurse who we met when I was an intern on the wards. And it's been fascinating to watch her career evolve from a nurse on the cancer wards, on the OB wards, to raising our children, and our daughter went into healthcare. She rented breast pumps. She now has pivoted to alternative medicine. She's a massage therapist. She does alternative healing. And so her healing journey has been amazing, and she's had the courage to change her career where I keep coming here to work every day. So my wife inspires me, and I love her very much.
As an African American woman in cardiothoracic surgery, I'm a member of an even smaller group of people within my chosen field. I can attest firsthand to the challenges faced by many of us who live at the intersectionality between gender and race, making our attempts at breaking glass ceilings an even more daunting task. Although women comprise 50% of all medical students, women make up only 4% of all board-certified cardiothoracic surgeons in the United States, and that's around 350 women nationwide compared to almost 8,500 men. Many of us face gender discrimination as we advance in our careers, with only 18% of us achieving the rank of full professor. At this current rate, parity in gender amongst heart and lung surgeons won't be achieved for at least another 100 years. Minorities are even more significantly affected. Among tenured surgical professors, less than 3% identify as African American and less than 2% as Hispanic. With Women Heal, a health equality through advanced leadership consortium focused on heart and lung disease benefiting practitioners and patients, we would like to change that.
I'm a woman and I'm awesome!
I am a woman and I deserve equal rights, equal pay, and a seat at the table.
Many skeptics contend that the gender wage gap is not real. However, this information shown here proves otherwise. This data was gathered by the U.S. Census Bureau from 1960 to 2018. The first chart shows the female to male earnings ratio is 81.6%. The second chart, based on full-time year-round workers 15 and older, shows the median earnings of women annually at about $45,000, which is less than the median earnings for men at just a little over $55,000 per year. As recently as 2018, for every dollar earned by males, females earned 82 cents. This slide shows the median income for female full-time workers by occupations. In 2017, the median salary for a working woman was $41,512 annually.
Hello, my name is Kubra and I'm one of the technicians working here at pre-anesthesia department. And the question that I will be answering today is, how did you manage during the pandemic? I think the most helpful thing that helped me to manage during the pandemic is a family support and also the department and co-workers support. Without my co-workers, I don't think I would have been able to get through this pandemic. We all have been very supportive of each other, making sure that everything works for every single person working in the department. So I think without them and without my family support, I wouldn't have been here. So thank you.
My name is Irene and I work here in the operating room, and during this pandemic it's really a challenging, but it's a great opportunity. It's a pros and cons, but I always look at the brighter side and I take it like as a good realization for all of us. But for myself, I try to be healthy. I do all the things that I need to do to be healthy and do my diet the proper way. And I was locked down back in the Philippines for 5 months, and I'm just so proud that my Stanford family are very supportive with me, with my family. And this pandemic, I've learned so many things, not just like the negative side, but always the positive side. I know things happen for a reason, and whatever the pandemic is, I just stay fit and healthy. I thank you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has devastated many communities and populations. Women, in particular, have been impacted with difficult decisions over balancing work and life. The pandemic economic effects on women has been called the she-cession. In December of last year, women accounted for 90% of jobs lost in the U.S. Single mother households make up for approximately 21% of U.S. families, and limited childcare options due to the pandemic have impacted over 70 million children. This shift has forced many women to consider stepping away from the workforce or downshifting their careers. In this particular study, it could mean that up to 2 million women would exit the U.S. workforce. The most at-risk working women include women in senior roles working mothers, and women of color. To counteract this economic catastrophe, sponsorship opportunities and retention of female talent is important.
Hi, my name is Lorelai Evangelista. I am an RN working in the operating room. I've been here at Stanford for more than 12 years. So how did I manage during the pandemic? Actually, during the pandemic, it has made me do some soul searching. And it made me realize how easy, or how the world can change in one bit. But it made me also realize how there could be silver linings in the midst of chaos. And one thing for me is like how to better take care of myself during the pandemic. Actually, I started being healthy, starting to eat healthier foods and getting more exercises. It also helped me to foster positive relationships with friends and stuff in the way of social media, or even realizing how to get close to my friends or family even without physically touching them.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining for our celebration of Women's History Month. I wanted to talk about a woman who was particularly influential to me, and that was my grandmother, Hermine. I was extremely close to her and talked to her almost every day until her death when I was 17 years old. When she was growing up, she dreamt of going to college, and specifically Vassar College, but unfortunately, this was during the Great Depression, and she had to work for her family to help support them and never had the opportunity. I was lucky enough to be able to go and actually go to her choice of school, Vassar. Vassar is a special place as it's a seven-sister school and the only one that allows men to attend along with women, originally a women's only college. At Vassar, I was able to get a very well-rounded liberal arts education, take women's studies, and all sorts of other courses that has really enhanced my ability to learn, along with all the science courses that I all took to go to medical school. I'm so thankful to have had her in my life and to have had the opportunity to go to the place that she always wanted to.
I am a woman and I am fearless. These words from Nikita Gill embody to me what I believe a fearless woman is. I think your bones were made in an elsewhere place. How else does one explain this inconceivable strength that makes you? The way you look into danger's mouth and see no cemetery or death. Instead, carve your name into its teeth with a switchblade, defeat it so effortlessly, and throw your head back and laugh. Paradox girl, mighty woman, you are the thing that terrifies them. Both monster and maiden, both cure and poison, all of these things, and at the same time human. Defined by no man, you are your own story, blazing through the world, turning history into her story. And when they dare to tell you about all the things you cannot be, you smile and tell them, I am both war and woman, and you cannot stop me.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer is a psychosexual therapist, an iconic figure in the art of sexual health straight talk, who pioneered speaking frankly about sexual matters on radio with her program Sexually Speaking, which expanded to a national broadcast and was renamed The Dr. Ruth Show. She also went on to develop an advice column, Ask Dr. Ruth, and authored more than 40 books. Notwithstanding her impressive career in sex therapy, Dr. Ruth's life has been far from one-dimensional. Born in 1928 in Germany, she was evacuated to a children's home in Switzerland at the age of 10 to escape the Holocaust. In her late teens, she went to Israel and became a sniper for the Jewish underground army. After spending time in France, she moved to the United States in 1956 and obtained a doctorate in education from Columbia University. She went on to study human sexuality at the New York Hospital Cornell University Medical Center, and she worked for Planned Parenthood. She also taught at Lehman College, Brooklyn College, Adelphi College, Columbia University, and West Point.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a nurse in the Interventional Radiology Department. And for Women's History Month, I wanted to tell you guys about a woman who inspired me or motivated me. My inspiration is Shaylin Flanagan. She is a marathon runner. She has multiple Olympic gold medals. Essentially, she has pushed her barriers and pushed past what society said was okay for a woman, and really just inspires me to be better and run faster. And so, yeah, that's my motivator.
Dr. Susan LaFleche Picote was the first American Indian to earn a medical degree in the United States. She graduated second in her class at Hampton University. Despite incredible financial, social, and logistical barriers, she was accepted to medical school at one of the few schools in the United States that offered education to women during the Victorian era. She would soon become the country's first Native American physician, despite still being unable to vote or call herself a citizen under American law. Dr. LaFleche was a social reformer and fought for many health initiatives in the Omaha tribe, including working with alcohol addiction and tuberculosis treatment. Dr. LaFleche was a pioneer in medicine, defying the odds of gender and racial disparities.
Hello, my name is Mark Flores. I am the Assistant Patient Care Manager of General Surgery and in the Interventional Platform. And I have this question. Tell us about a woman who inspired or motivated you. I think the woman who inspired me is Maya Angelou. And one of the main things that she is a proponent of is standing your ground and making sure to hold in and lean into that person that you are. And being a person, an immigrant myself, she was able to inspire me to stand in my own, harness my skill, study a lot, and just be brave. That's it. Happy Women's Day.
Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell was born in England in 1821. Her father wanted to help abolish slavery and moved his family to America. Elizabeth and her siblings campaigned for women's rights as well as supported the anti-slavery movement. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell was told it was impossible to become a physician as it was too expensive and such an education was not available to women. Dr. Blackwell did not accept impossible. With her persistence, she attended Geneva Medical College. In 1849, she became the first woman in the U.S. to earn a Doctor of Medicine degree. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell founded the New York Infirmary as well as the Women's Medical College of the New York Infirmary. She encouraged and empowered women to pursue careers in medicine as well as provided care for the underserved communities.
Hello, everyone. Women's History Month is an opportunity for us to celebrate and reflect on the accomplishments of women over the years to our culture and also to our society and the world. There's so many trailblazing women who have led the way for change, whether it's Amelia Earhart, Rosa Parks, Florence Nightingale, Harriet Tubman, Anne Frank, Mother Teresa, Audrey Hepburn, Michelle Obama, Stacey Abrams, and our Vice President Kamala Harris. But for me, there's some women in my personal life that have made an absolute difference to me, and that was my grandmother Alice and my Aunt Shirley. And in my professional life, Wendy Yick, Mary Lou Jackson, Ling Chen, and Sarah Herx. So here's to strong women. May we know them, may we be them, may we raise them. Thank you to all the women out there. We love you.
Bonnie was my daughter's third grade Girl Scout troop leader. Bonnie was the room mother that arranged for the sixth grade to tour the anatomy lab with Dr. Larry Mathers. Bonnie and her husband Ramiro dressed and danced ballet folklorico to share their Latino heritage at the school assembly. In the past 30 years, Dr. Bonnie Maldonado also led numerous NIH, CDC, USAID, Gates Foundation, and WHO international pediatric vaccine studies, as well as studies in the prevention and treatment of perinatal HIV infection in the US, India, Mexico, and Africa. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Maldonado has over 10 clinical epidemiology and laboratory-based studies in this area and is involved in epidemiologic modeling at the university, state, and national level. Many of you saw Bonnie as a member of the weekly Stanford Med Live events this past year. If you see her in the hall, please introduce yourself and you'll experience the joyful energy that she radiates.
As a fun Women's History Month challenge, we encourage you to check out a book or a movie from these lists, watch it or read it by the end of April, and talk to a coworker about it. Tell them what you learned, what you thought was cool, what you thought was interesting, and something you want to help change. We hope today you leave with a bit more knowledge and a desire to learn more. Please check out these resources for more information on how you can support women's rights and women's history. Stanford Healthcare has a women's resource group that is open to all. Tomorrow, on March 30th, the CEO of Lean.org, Rachel Thomas, will be speaking at 1300. Check out the QR code to register. As part of today's takeaway, I want to reinforce that Stanford Healthcare is committed to maintaining a discrimination-free environment. Stanford Healthcare acts in compliance with all federal, state, and local laws and regulations governing discrimination involving patients, employees, physicians, vendors, visitors, and other individuals and entities associated or involved with Stanford Healthcare services. We have firm policies on non-discrimination as well as harassment, discrimination, and retaliation prevention. As we learn more about IDHE in the interventional platform, I encourage everyone to speak up if they see action or behavior that is not tolerated according to our policies. Thank you.
Right now, everyone from A